Hello. It is December 30th, 2025. I know it's been a while since I sat here and talked about my thoughts, but with the new year coming around, I think I should have a bit of a reflection of what this year has been and talk out loud the things that I want to happen next year. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Biggest physical changes: I have blonde hair now. Well, maybe my face has changed. Maybe I got taller. I really don't care too much about any of that. I enjoy the fact that I stayed healthy though. I think that's good. I mean, like I I just kind of do it like naturally. I guess I think that's the nice thing about being young. You don't have to worry too much about it, and I don't. I mean, I work out every once in a while. Actually, that's not a lie. Maybe like 4 times a week when I have access to a gym. But I stay relatively healthy, so I'm glad. I'm glad no major health scares, nothing of that sort. So that's good. Um, really want to talk about girls, but I think that I will leave to last. Let's talk about academics. Um, Start of the year, freshman year. You know what? When I started, I was halfway through my freshman year, so let's talk pretty broadly about my freshman year. I went into college distrusting the way that education was set up. I really didn't like it at all. And I cheated throughout all my classes my freshman year. I don't think there's a single class I did legitimately, which is nice. Yeah, I thought I was kind of above that. And I think that might be a recurring topic throughout this reflection. But really, like, you're telling me that I have to sit through this the same way as all the other people around me. Really, I felt like I was better than that. And who knows, like I might be better than that, but that's just the thing that happened. Anyways, freshman year, I didn't take it too seriously. I didn't get too much out of it, and I started distrusting it. That was the first semester. Second semester, I really just like stepped away from it, and I kind of failed or did poorly in a lot of my classes. I think I kind of tanked my GPA. I slept through a midterm. It really sucked. I mean, I didn't care at the moment. I still kind of hardly don't care. But it happened, and I'm kind of glad it happened because it was a real wake up call for me that I needed to start taking my academics seriously, and I need to take my future seriously because none of this is guaranteed. So it's, I have to be who I want to be and act like who I want to eventually end up acting like. And I think that kind of wake up call academically happened at the perfect time because the first semester of my second year went really, really well for me. I still failed a class, because you gotta stay consistent. But I was really proud of everything I taken away. I think I learned a lot. I think I applied myself well. I learned the ways I like to study. I learned the ways I like to learn the ways I like to balance my time. And I think a lot of my favorite classes I've ever taken were taken this semester. And I think it's a few of the classes, I think it's because of the way they were structured, but mostly is because I ended up caring, which is nice. And I'm glad I did that. And, it's annoying having to worry about grades. And it's annoying that, for whatever reason, people tend to value grades. Um, but I think next year I'll take myself more seriously by not pretending like I'm anything greater than the education system and understand that you have to sometimes just work for an A instead of working for the purpose of learning, which was what I was doing. And it's okay. But I really enjoyed it. I really did. I really took a lot away from it. I was happy, I was passionate, and I could see what I want for myself in the future, right? The only issue is, you know, a lot of the stuff I enjoyed was like math and applied math and complex calculus, and that's the stuff I really, really enjoy doing. Maybe just because I'm good at it, but it's what I really enjoy doing, and sometimes I feel like these are just here as barriers of entry to get the engineering degree, and maybe the mechanical engineering major won't even integrate any of that calculus and won't even apply it to real world scenarios, and that kind of worries me because you're telling me I'm learning all this calculus, I'm understanding thermodynamic principles, and that's just kind of like useless. Like once I finish school, it's like, oh, you were able to do that, good job. Now you can sit here and do jack shit for the next 30 years. You know what I mean? I don't want to stop learning. I don't want to stop challenging myself. At least now. At least with the mentality and the passion, I guess, that I have now. What else? Oh, drugs. Um, the fall of last year is when I started smoking weed, and it was pretty nice. Um, I think at first, especially freshman year, I really didn't understand what it was. I just kind of did it because everyone around me was doing it, and I didn't really get too much out of it, other than the fact that like sometimes I would just melt into beds, and like food would taste better sometimes, and it was nice to be around friends and do all the same thing, and then enjoy each other like that. But I realized that I didn't love it. I was just doing it. I'll talk about each drug separately. Uh, this semester, weed. I honestly think I developed a much healthier relationship with it. I was able to have better highs. Like I was able to have highs where beneficial. Like I would eat, cook, and then eat, and that was a good high because I was just like, oh, that felt nice. And and it's like, what else are you really gonna get from weed? It's just like it's a plant, and sometimes it increases. It helps increase the dopamine you get out of life, and sometimes you need that. And I also liked how when I was smoking, that I literally could not stress. Like I did not have the ability to stress, which is nice. It was really nice. A few times, like especially after a few of my midterms, it was like, wow, this is really nice, just being able to smoke. But I did notice that my perception of time was a little off. Normal life when I was sober started to feel a little bit weirder, faster. So that felt strange. Um, and yeah, I think that's about it. But I like how, especially this past semester, I like. I think for this recap, I'm gonna be more biased towards this half of the year. But I'll try to recall the negative parts of what happened before. But I really liked how I was able to limit myself and only use it with intention. And I think I mean it's never good for you, but like doing it without intention, that's when it's like borderline addiction. Um, Next I will talk about shrooms. I had two shroom strips this year. One first semester, one this semester. The first one was very revealing for me. It kind of felt like for the first time everything just made sense. Everything I've been doing, my life as a story. I was able to visualize my life as a story and visualize my trip as a story that ran parallel to my life story, which was nice. Um, I got a lot away from that. I had a very good experience, but I was able to think more clearly. And I think that's what started the kind of philosophy craze that I had for a few months throughout the year. And I, honestly, like, there's nothing against that. I was happy that I did that, and I think that is a very real part of me. And even though I kind of took a step back from overthinking and over analyzing things, I think it is important to be able to sit back and talk with your fellow humans about complex subjects. So I'm glad that I did that. And a part of that was Carson. I really enjoyed talking to him and breaking down and debating and having open conversations about complex things. And yeah, we get into mistake number one I made this year. I'm going to write these down. Bringing Carson to New York. Bringing Carson to New York. That was spring break. That was one of the funnest moments of the year. I had a really good spring break. I Carson was came with me to New York, obviously, and it was great. I had him spend time with my family. I had him spend time with my friends. It was just so nice having two different groups of people in my life just meet. And it was just like, it was beautiful because it's like, I love you, you guys should meet to show that there's just people deserving of love out there. And I think the reason that I couldn't see the fault in doing that was because like I just appreciated who they were, and I was like, you have to meet him, just like he has to meet you guys. And that was my mindset, and I think it was pretty flawed. It was definitely very selfish bringing someone into our house when my mother is not capable of having guests, even though she told me repeatedly. And she is so busy and she does so much for me, and I could not empathize with that, and I had to put more stress on her, which is terrible. I took away time from my family. And I can understand how that deeply affects my relationship, deeply affects the relationship that my mom has with my sister. I regret that, and I can see that now. It's just, that is just one of those things where I was just acting purely selfishly. And I think that's one of the takeaways that I take from this year is that a lot of the time I act really selfishly. I had a clear notion in my head for what the right thing to do was and what the most optimal thing to do was for, I don't even know what. In this case, it was for a person I loved to see more people I loved and for the love to grow exponentially. But I don't know. I didn't take into my account my family's or Carson's, I wasn't able to empathize with them there. And I regret that. I think that's one thing I want to change. And I think one of the ways I can do that is to prioritize family more, listen to my mom, understand that at the end of the day, it really only is family that's there for you at the end of the day. And it's hard to wrap my head around that because it's just like, it's really hard because I've just met all these wonderful people, and it's like, still supposed to prioritize my family over them. I'm still supposed to prioritize my family over this girl that I met who's beautiful and lovely. Still supposed to. But I think that's like the benefits to religion, right? I think my family could be my anchor in the same way that a religion and faith to a religion could be the anchor for a religious person. Because sometimes it's not about what or who you choose to believe in or who you anchor yourself with. It's just that you are anchored to something. And maybe it's the wrong thing, but it is what it is. It's no such thing as right and wrong. It's just such a fine line. But my mom is right. It's hard to though. I understand. What else did I learn from that? Try to empathize more. Um, be able to say no to people. I wasn't able to say no to Carson because I liked him so much. I thought he was so cool. So, be able to say no to people. Um, yeah. I think a lot of those mishaps that I had. Oh, you know, staying at the Avenue when there were cheaper options available. All these kind of mishaps. All these mishaps, or not all, but most of the mishaps. Actually, one of the main mishaps, or one of the main umbrellas of mishaps I've had, is related to lack of empathy and understanding for the people around me. Acting pretty selfishly, putting things off to the last moment, and expecting some great figure to come swoop down and fix all my issues. And in the past, it used to be my mom. And it still is my mom. She just has to deal with the consequences later on. So I must remember that. I must remember that it may be funny for me. It may be a good story for me, and it may ex- it may make the people around me laugh, and it may benefit me in some way. But at the end of the day, you got to think about consequences, and you got to try to empathize with people. Like losing my phone, losing my wallet. Yeah, it was funny. It was fucking hilarious. I lost everything, and I was able to be detached and live the way I wanted to live, and that's cool. I've learned a lot from that, and it was great. It was so nice not having to check my phone constantly. But it put my mom in a tough spot, and I have to empathize with that, and I have to understand my actions, my mistakes, my shortcomings. I don't pay the bill for that. Someone else does. So I thought it was freedom to be able to make my own mistakes, and just act as rashly and recklessly as possible. But they're not my mistakes because I'm not the one paying for them. Mistake belongs to the person who pays for it, not the doer. More mistakes I've made. Failing a class twice this year. 2 semesters this year, two failed classes. Yeah, probably wasn't good. Both of them were not due to lack of ability, just poor time management. Um, and yeah, I can definitely do better than that. And I think that's another one where I think I'm exercising my freedom by making these mistakes, but at the end of the day, someone else has to pay for them. And while it may appear that it's me, eventually it's going to be someone else. So I have to learn from that quickly. I think this next semester I'm going to do that. Financially, another poor year. Um, Reckless spending for Europe, which is fine, but that highlights the same principle This mistake belongs to the people who pay for it. While my mother didn't outright pay for it, the money I used on Europe, I could have used to pay for my rent or pay for tuition. So she ended up paying that bill. So I have to understand. I gotta stop making stupid choices, especially if other people end up having to pay for it. Okay. So my goal is to I should set a goal for myself. I should try to budget my money. I should budget my money. With whatever little money I make this semester, I should budget my money. I should distribute it evenly between groceries, between helping my mom out with rent a little bit, um, with traveling, with, yeah, I should do that. Another goal. I'm gonna try to budget. No, I'm going to budget properly. That's what I'm gonna do. And these are one of those things where it's just like once a week, a little update, put in paychecks, put in the amounts I spent on groceries. You can do that just going onto the app, just putting it in. And yeah, I think it won't be hard. It's just all about effort. So I have to do that. Because remember, gotta be stop being so selfish. Okay, now let's talk about the interesting part. Girls. There were a lot of girls throughout this year that I really, really, really enjoyed. And I realized looking back on it that I was never having an intimate relationship with them. I was just learning about myself, and they happened to be the messenger. And I was never able to make a genuine connection with any of them because I was still just learning about myself and I was still coming to senses with my insecurities and shortcomings when it came to girls in the past. So I don't think I made a single genuine connection with a girl this year, and I'm sorry to say that, Maya. But actually, I think Maya was a good first step in the right direction. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about with the first girl, Jasmine. She was very, very pretty. I was just surprised that she gave me attention and that she she was like really pretty. I was surprised that she cared about me, and yeah, I kind of romanticized it. I I couldn't even name one thing about her, but I remember how she made me feel, and I think it just shows that there was never love that I was feeling with these girls. It was I don't know what it was. But I know that I didn't feel like I deserved her. I feel like yeah, I just didn't know what to do when it came to girls. I never interacted with one before, and so I don't think I was able to make that genuine connection. But I know I really liked her. I know I really thought about her a lot, and I was just so excited to talk to a pretty girl. Yeah, but it's cool. What did I take away from that? Um, don't be bad. Don't be bad at texting. I guess. Don't be unrealistic when it comes to female relationships. Don't dive headfirst into the one just because the opportunity is given to you. Look for genuine connection and not just, oh wow, this girl's interested in me. I can't give up on this opportunity. I can't let this one slip away. And I think that's what I was doing with her. I would text her because I wanted to, make sure that she knew I was still here. And I took it way more seriously, and then I was too nervous to make any moves. So, that was the end of it. Yeah. I think that was the childish, not the childish. I think the younger version of me is interacting with women. I'm not saying it was a worse way, but kind of filled with insecurity. Still unsure of myself. Didn't know how to get to know them well enough. Didn't know how to make moves. I was just excited. There was a pretty girl. Uh, and I was convinced that she loved me for some reason. And I guess I just over romanticized that. I was like, okay, next girl. Who would be the next notable girl? There really wasn't anyone second semester. Oh, there was the girl in Onyanta. Really pretty. She was like alt girl, I think. Um, it was nice to have the confidence, but again, nothing genuine there. I think a lot of the time I just place too much emphasis on the physical attraction, and then I never end up getting to know them, and then that's where it ends. With this girl, I have pants on by the way, just With this girl, there's yeah, I placed too much emphasis back then on the you know, and then like over romanticized it. Next one, Rhea. Fuck, that was terrible. Yeah, that was pretty bad. I was bored. I was lonely. I figured she wouldn't take it as seriously as me, so we could just hang out for a few days right before summer, and then it'd be all right. That was really fucked up on my part. Yeah, that was really fucked up. I um I based the relationship on what my experience with girls had been at that particular moment. At that particular moment, it probably very much disagreed with what her perception of girls was. So, or her perception of relationships. But I think Rio was just a continuation of Hannah. Um, I just felt like I was on the receiving end of the relationships I would cast outward that were based kind of only on physical attraction, um, especially with both Hannah and Rio. And then since I didn't feel any physical attraction towards them, I realized that there was nothing else there because all the other female relationships I had were entirely based on physical attraction and physical intimacy. And once I realized that there was nothing there physically between me and Ria, between me and Hannah, I started to dislike them, and I didn't like that. You know, I didn't like that they still liked me because I thought they only still liked me for the physical intimacy, the physical attraction. Because I wasn't able to fully develop the other forms of attraction that are significant. And It's on me. That really sucks. And I'm sorry I hurt both of them. I really am. And yeah, that was a really big mistake. I'll write that down. And then someone else. And then over the summer, I met Maya. She was introduced to me. She, for the first time ever with a girl, she was, we were able to develop the non physical aspects of a relationship. We were able to talk. We were able to express emotions. We were able to feel each other's emotions. For the first time ever, I felt like I was being heard and understood. And that was really great. That, being able to feel that type of love, being able to develop that type of non physical intimacy, like emotional intimacy, that was really, really, really nice. And like I did when I first started feeling physical intimacy with someone, I kind of attached myself and I overly romanticized it. And I do regret that, but I think it's okay. I mean, it just kind of sucked. But I'm really glad that we had the relationship we did. I think, you know, she also helped me develop sexually as well. And I was able to express myself more sexually. And yeah, the only downside I could see, like afterwards, is that towards the end, especially the fall break trip, I think the sexual aspects of a relationship just kind of outweighed everything else. You know, I only started seeing her as a, you know, sexual partner and nothing else. And I think that really damaged all the other parts of a relationship. So I have to think of a way to conquer this lust and to appreciate the sexual part, but continuously build and not forget about all the other parts. Because all the other parts are the most important part. Yeah. And it sucks though, because sex is really nice. And yeah, there were two more relationships after that, um, which was a one night stand. That made me feel kind of disgusting myself sexually. Um, it's kind of like a violent form of sexual expression. Uh, it was. It looked like everything I'd ever seen in porn, especially the more violent types of porn, and it just did not feel good. It was violent. It was kind of hateful. It was ugly, and after my sexual relationships with Maya, I was just so astounded. I was like, wow, does not feel good. Well, it felt good, but like this is not how I want to live. This is not the type of partners I want to take. So yeah, that was kind of crazy. Um, and then Xena, she was so cool. I really liked her. It was unfortunate that for her own personal reasons she couldn't make she couldn't make a commitment, which is fine. It's fine. I really respect her for that. Um, but she was very cool. Yeah, honestly, no critiques there. I kind of don't like the way I'm ending it right now, but that is because of someone new I met, and I think my emotions might be biased because I recently met her, but I really do like her. I really, really do like her. And Trinity, she's so funny, but she's serious about her life. She's intelligent, but she is not egotistical. She's thoughtful, but also carefree. It's so nice. It's so refreshing. Um, and who knows? I've kind of been stressing because, like, you know, what if she's not the one? What if she, you know, only wants me for the physical aspect? But that's just my past experiences talking, and that's me projecting my own, flaws. But yeah, I think I'm ready to make a commitment and work towards something with her. Yeah, because she's great, and I've never done something like this before. I've never worked towards building something and put someone else's happiness before mine. So I'm excited. And I really cannot allow the physical part to dominate our relationship. I just don't know the way I like to be loved. I'm going to be completely honest. I really don't. I've been able to recognize how other people want to be loved and how other people want friendships to go. And I've been able to recognize that and I've been able to give that to people. But realizing that, I feel like I've been like a kind of a people pleaser for a long time. And I've never really felt the kind of affection and happiness that I try to give out. And that's like a stupid thing to think about, right? But like now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know how I want to be loved. So I'm gonna try to figure that out with her. But I think the way to do that is to not make a relationship about me. Because I was reading back on what I wrote about my other female relationships, and it tends to be, oh, she is so great. This is what I'm doing wrong. This is what has been wrong about me. This is what I like about what's going on. It's always been about me and me and me and me and how I'm feeling and how, you know, and it's never about her, right? I have to take her emotions seriously. She's so great. Quick update though. Started off New Year's last year talking to Jasmine. What happened in January to February? There was probably a shroom strip somewhere around there, I think. Lots of spike ball. Well, that was really fun. Yeah, that was really fun. Um, March spring break. Carson came to visit. We went to Oneonta. It was fun. It was also a mistake, but it is what it is. Oh, also throughout all this semester, I'm working a lot of hours trying to save up for Europe, and that was another reason why I failed a class there and I did poorly in all my, classes. Yeah, I didn't focus too much on midterms or finals, and I didn't do too well. It may happen. I started a job, started working on an apartment pool, and I started working at as a swim instructor. Oh, I forgot about the swim instructor though. The swim instructing was nice. I didn't like the pay too much. I didn't like how I was in the water so much, but I really enjoyed working with kids. It was really really nice. I really it was so fun, and I liked meeting new people. I yeah, I met the Chris Dallas, who was unfortunately too young for me, but she was really cool. Yeah, all the people I met there were really nice. Really seemed to be genuine. And it's nice seeing all the like little ecosystems and communities that there are, and how I feel like a lot of the time it seems like the same actor is like playing multiple roles in like in my life story. I can recognize the same person from here from a totally different community. I need to drink water. Went to Europe for the summer. It was really nice. Um, yeah, I think, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but that just kind of, I think when it comes to my friendship with my hometown friends, I think that's kind of where the end of the line is. Like they'll always forever be in my heart, and they'll always be a part of my life. But people change, and I think that was the last of being their best friend, which kind of sucks to say, but I think it's just a part of life. I think you just move on, and there's nothing. It kind of hurts, you know. You can't please everyone forever. You just life moves on. Well, see, I can't really think right now. I know I had a good year. I enjoyed my time, and I liked the personal growth that I feel I've made, and I'm excited for this next year. And whatever happens in my life, I'm excited to see what happens. Because, I didn't feel like much change, but looking back on it now, this is an exciting year. A lot happened, and I learned a lot about myself, and I'm feeling confident about who I am and what I do. It's just nice. It's just nice. And yeah, I'm kind of learning how to do this, and there was a lot about me that I think was flawed, that I think I did poorly. But I like how many mistakes I made. I don't like how it cost my mom so much and a lot of people around me. And I don't like how my effects affect their lives, or my mistakes affect their lives. But I learned so much about myself, and I feel like this is the first step to adulthood, and I feel like I'm doing it right. And even if I'm not doing it right, it doesn't matter because no, I feel good about it, and I feel happy about what I've done. And Yeah, I think I'm happy. I think I really am. And it's nice. Life is just so beautiful. Like I really just, I, it's just so beautiful. Like my life is like genuinely so interesting. Like I really like just am enjoying who I am right now. I really am. Like this is a good time of my life. Like I'm happy. I love people. People love me, and it's just I don't know. I think this is one of the parts of my life that I'm gonna look back on when I'm older. It's gonna be like, wow, you were happy. Wow, you. It's oh man, no, I'm so excited for what the future holds for me though. Like I really am. Like I have a clear vision, and I love. This video is a little too long, but I am happy. I feel like I'm fulfilled, and I think I'm ready for this year. I'm ready for next year. I'm ready for the new challenges that await me. I'm excited. I'm excited because what's gonna happen? Like, ooh, I'm giddy. Okay, thank you for a very good year. 2025, one of my best, I think. Probably like an 8 out of 10, maybe even 9 out of 10. But I'm excited. Excited for next year. Excited for Trinity. Excited for school. Excited for summer. Actually, a little nervous about the summer. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't want to stay at home again all summer, but we'll see what I do. Um, I'm excited for my junior year. I'm excited for new opportunities, new responsibilities. I feel like I'm ready for them now. Um, I'm excited for all the new people I'm going to meet. I'm excited for all the wonderful things I'm going to see. Yeah, I'm excited to be a human. I really am. I really am. Like, I really, really am.